Hi there, welcome to the Brown Lounge. Actually, this is the Brown Lounge on location. I'm here with Aimee Pellegrini, and she's the proprietor of one of my favorite Italian restaurants, La Romanza Bistro in Seattle. And I have been really craving pasta lately, and I thought it would be fun to do a whole show on how to create pasta fresh at home. And who better to help us out with that than an Italian restaurateur. So Aimee's going to share some of her secrets with us today. I think she's going to surprise you as to how she makes her pasta at her restaurant, which we can make at home, right?
Absolutely.
So what are some of those secrets?
So the secret is this. The secret is that it's absolutely 100% the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, that's
and there
good.
are only 2 ingredients. I don't know of any recipe that there are only 2 ingredients, and I'm going to show you. So we have eggs and we have flour. I think there are a lot of different ways to do this. This is the way we do it in my family. This is the way my nonna did it in Italy. I watched her do it many, many times, many years. Here at La Romanza, we have a little secret to make it a little easier, a little cleaner, and I think the home cook will be really happy with this method.
Excellent. I think one of the things that keeps home cooks from wanting to make pasta at home is that whole idea of they've got to mix the eggs and the flour with their hands, and it's messy, and they're just not sure how that consistency is going to work out, and so it's kind of intimidating. But you're saying you have a secret.
I
so
do.
Stick around. We're going to find out what Aimee's secret is, and we'll be right back.
So my secret weapon is the kitchen secret weapon, the mixer. So I use the mixer to mix the dough. Traditionally, you would pour it onto the countertop, pour the flour, and then add egg by egg, mix it with a fork, you know, very traditional. And it's fun to do it that way. If you're in a hurry, as we often are in the restaurant business, I use the countertop mixer. And I also find that it helps get the consistency that you're looking for much quicker and all the way through the dough to have a nice smooth pasta.
Now you
All right, so it's time to mix the pasta. The first step is to get your flour into the mixer, and generally I tend to use 1 egg per person. As you're mixing it, you might need to add more flour if you're getting a wet consistency. So generally speaking, 1 egg per person is about the right amount. Okay, so I'm gonna get the mixer started here. You want to start at a nice low speed and just start cracking eggs. The first couple eggs, you won't even be able to see them. The flour will just eat them right up. After number 3, you'll start to see some chunks. And then you want to increase the speed just a touch. I generally wouldn't go over a 2 or a 3 for the whole project. The 4th egg, you're seeing a little bit of yellow color. The 5th egg, and about 75% of it is now mixed. And look, my hands are clean. I'm loving this. The next egg, and you have a little bit of a wet mixture now. And the whole bowl is now mixed. Inside the bowl, what we have is 1 large lump and then some crumbs. The next step is to mix all that together. So I'm going to pour all the mixture out onto the countertop. Now, the dough is just a tiny bit tacky. It isn't wet. It's almost ready. I always half it, take the palm of my hand and press into the middle, rotate it, half it, press into the middle with my palm. We have some crumbs around, that's okay. The consistency is just about right.
Okay, that's quite a lovely dough ball you have there, Aimee.
Well, thank you.
So we're at step 2 now, and Aimee's going to show you another secret to success with your pasta. which is to what?
Well, we're going to continue to knead the dough using the pasta machines instead of elbow grease. So break off a little bit of the dough, pat it down, and we're going to start by just running it through one pass.
Okay, and this is the pasta machine that I use at home. I brought it into Aimee's restaurant because she has an industrial strength machine, and we didn't want to use that because the home cook wouldn't have that at their disposal. So this is what the home cook would use.
So the nice part about what we've already done is that we're pretty much there. So we've worked a lot of flour into it just by using the mixer. So this time I'm going to take the dough and just put a little bit of flour on it and run it through after folding it in half one time.
So this is still kneading.
This is kneading. Yep.
We're basically getting enough flour into the dough to get it the right consistency.
Correct.
Using the machine to kind of help
push it along.
Push it along.
Yes.
Okay, great.
So just a little bit more flour. I'm going to fold it in half probably only one more time and pass it through, and then we'll be ready to start sheeting.
It looks good. It looks beautiful.
When I'm touching it and pinching it, it separates too quickly. So it's not quite done yet. If you can push it all the way through and really get a thin bit of pasta between your fingers, then you're not done kneading yet.
Then it's not going to hold up.
Correct.
When you boil it.
So I folded it in half, a little bit more flour, and then feed it in there. You can actually, when you're making the pasta with the machine like this, you can't over knead it.
Oh, really?
Definitely not. You can over add flour, but over kneading it won't happen, so you don't need to worry about that. But just add a little bit at a time.
Great. So beautiful. The color is so beautiful.
And the other thing, actually, that's a really good point, is we're starting to see now that the flour is coating it on the outside a bit, but the color difference between the now kneaded pasta and the original pasta that we had in the mixer is it's getting lighter and lighter.
Right. I'm getting hungrier and hungrier.
I know. Okay.
Beautiful. That's just beautiful.
And this is the part that I really enjoy, this kneading part. It's sort of my zen time in the kitchen. It takes some time, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was thinking too, this is a great dish to make with friends because obviously the pasta is going to be super fresh. You don't have to worry about putting it in the refrigerator or freezing it. It's just homemade right then and there. And your friends can help you out with this process.
Absolutely.
I always love to have a dinner party where people get involved. Even if they've got a cocktail over here and they're kneading the dough over here, all they need is an apron, and it's a fun group activity.
A ton of fun.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, so we were there. So the dough itself is very, very smooth. There aren't any lumps. There aren't any cracks. And now we move from the kneading to the sheeting.
Okay, so sheeting is the third step.
Yes.
Final step. And
so we're going to sheet it a little bit with the machine to make it nice and thin to a consistency that we like. Today we're making pappardelle, which is a nice wide noodle that has a little bit more thickness to it. So we're not going to sheet it too thinly. And the thing I love about this pappardelle is that it is so unbelievably easy, and it's just delicious, especially with a nice ragu. So
I can't wait to see how we make the ragu too. That'll be another episode, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this is my last pass kneading. Now what I'm going to do is make the, I'm going to take the pasta machine. Right now it's at a 7, which is at its maximum thickness, and I'm going to bring it down to a 6. So each pass will take it down just a little bit more. And we're going to add a little flour every time so that it doesn't stick into the machine, because as you are thinning it out, the moisture starts to come out as well.
So it's important for the home cook to understand kneading, sheeting, and then finally cutting.
Cutting,
the pasta,
that's
what's
correct.
happening at each stage. So kneading is really getting the consistency of the pasta, using the flour so that it's just got the right feel to it. And that is a thing that you'll probably get better with experience.
That's right. And having the patience really to knead it properly is the key. Just spending a little bit more of the time there, because after you've got the consistency right, then the rest is going to be very easy. So for example, right now I can feel a little bit of moisture, and so I'm adding a little bit more flour during this process, and that's always going to happen as you're thinning it out. All right. For the pappardelle, we might just take it down to a 3 and hold there.
Okay.
This is perfect.
It's a good workout too.
It is. All right, so now we have our fully sheeted pasta.
Beautiful.
So the other piece right now is, and I wouldn't call it an ingredient, but it is an agent of making this, and that is maseca. It's a very, very fine cornmeal, white cornmeal, and we use it to dry the pasta out a little bit so that it won't stick to itself. And then when you put it into the water, it just falls right off, and you're not eating that. So we'll spread it out very generously over the whole pasta sheet. And I'm going to fold it in half. Spread some more maseca. Again, fold it in half. We're just going to keep doing that until we get it nice and small.
This is like adult Play-Doh.
All right, so I'm going to fold it in half one more time. And then I just need my knife.
Okay.
So now we're making the noodles.
Yeah, excellent.
And it's so fun. I love it.
So those are about, I don't know, is that about an inch wide for the pappardelle?
I'd say about an inch.
Okay. Gorgeous.
All right.
So easy. It's
That's
just
it.
So easy and beautiful.
And here we have our pappardelle strands.
So are those ready to go in the water?
These can go right in the water.
Now, if we wanted to preserve this for, in the refrigerator or freeze it, what do you recommend when someone makes pasta?
So from this stage right here, what I would do is start to make a little pile, a nice, very, very loose pile, so that the strands aren't sticking together, and then let it air dry.
Okay.
For as long as you can stand it without it letting it get brittle. Okay. If you want to serve it later that night, you can leave it out.
Yeah.
But if you want to save it for maybe the next day or even longer, you can put it in a Ziploc baggie with more maseca, and then you can freeze it overnight.
Okay, great. Well, Aimee, I can't believe how easy that was. I mean, it was just beautiful and fun, but you made it look so easy. Is it really that easy?
It really is that easy. And the nice thing about it is it's just, you can do it on a weeknight.
Yeah.
It's something that doesn't have to take a whole lot of time, with these added benefits of the mixer and then kneading the dough with the pasta machine.
Right. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this segment. Amy's actually going to do another segment with us, and she's going to show us how to make a wonderful sauce with this pappardelle, which is a lamb ragu. So I can't wait for that one, but you're going to have to watch that segment separately. Thank you so much for being with us today. I love cooking with Aimee. It was really fun to be in your shop tonight. If you're ever in Seattle, you definitely have to come by La Romanza Bistro, because it is fabulous. If you love Italian food and you love the white tablecloth sort of elegance of a nice Italian restaurant, this is the one to go to. I hope you enjoyed this segment. I certainly did. I'm definitely going to make this at home for my friends, and look forward to cooking some more with you and making the lamb ragu, which I think will be delicious. So visit us often at thebrownlounge.com. Of course, follow us on Twitter. Friend us on Facebook. We're always doing something fun at thebrownlounge.com. We'll see you next time.